Live on Stream It Sports NoCo, it's Northern Colorado High School Soccer. This broadcast is brought to you by Pedersen Toyota in Fort Collins. Everything cars made easy by Jim's Wings, Northern Colorado's favorite wings since 1991. And by First Bank. Visit any of our convenient locations in Northern Colorado. First Bank, banking for good. And now for the play-by-play on Stream It Sports.
Welcome to French Field tonight. Live soccer, boys soccer in Colorado. Pooter Impalas against the Rocky Mountain Lobos. This is Randy McCoy along with Kevin Lytle will be here, just walked in. And Max Fink is shooting our pictures tonight. And Kevin just walked in. He's been working at CSU all day looking at the new crop of men's basketball players. And we'll talk about that later on here, as I'm sure we'll have time. But we've got a city rivalry game here. We had one Tuesday night that didn't seem to really pan out much. Tonight looks to really be a very close contest. Both teams coming in with 3 losses and 5 and 4 wins respectively. So, Kevin, I would expect this to be a close game. Yeah, this should be a good one. These two teams having strong first half of the season, kind of nice bounce-back years for them. So this should be a really exciting one. And as we kind of talk about this time of year, you sort of start eyeing playoff seeding. So these games with 2 pre-even teams, it's always a good leg up for whoever can win. And you see their sharp uniforms there, and they are announcing in a lot of these sports what I call non-traditional sport, although soccer is the most traditional sport when it comes to time. But they announce the whole team, not just the starting lineup, so that's what they're doing right now. And again, we had our first boys soccer match Tuesday night, and pretty much ended up like we thought it would, didn't it? Fort Collins came out and did what they were supposed to do. Yeah, definitely a 6-1 win for Fort Collins. They're a top 5 team. They're, semifinals last year and have kind of reload after graduating a bunch of players and seem like a team that can make a run to the semifinals once again. So Fort Collins looked really strong. Plenty of positives for Fossil Ridge. It got out of hand in the last 20 minutes or so, but you can see some positives as they try and grow through the season. So well, and I thought, yeah, you look at a match and it says, well, 6 goals, but I thought the goaltender played really well. A lot of those goals were things that he had no control over. They were deflections and different things that there was, kind of bad luck in some ways. Yeah, definitely. He ended up with some poor fortune, which will happen sometimes, and good teams like Fort Collins kind of create some poor fortune for their opponents as well. And they're playing in Broomfield tonight. Yeah, definitely. That's a really big game. Those they met in the semifinals last year. Broomfield went on to win the state title after winning a really good game against Fort Collins in the semis. So that's a big game for both league standing and RPI standing. And you see the Lobos there getting ready to. Pooter is the home team, even though both teams are from Fort Collins. Pooter is the home team. Soccer, if you watched our football broadcast, you know that the home team sits on this side and then the away team sits on the other side. But in soccer, everybody sits on the same side. So it's quite a community effort here, and got a decent crowd tonight. I think boys and girls soccer has been strong, and they're taking a picture down there, the Lobos. The soccer programs have been strong here for quite a few years, and so that's why it's a little odd even to see Fossil struggling. But really the story of this soccer season has been the emergence of Pooter. Yeah, definitely. They won 3 games all of last year, and already won 5. Already at 5, and there's I think 7 more to go. So they're a team that's fighting for a playoff spot right now. They are right in the mix. It's one of those you sit there, and I was just talking to Coach Eric Eckhoff down the field, and it's, hey, all those teams you played, you now watch them and hope they all keep winning. He's saying haven't had great fortune in that right now, but he thinks it'll get better, and that's the funny thing with that RPI. You beat teams, and then you become their biggest cheerleader. Hope they go beat everyone else. Well, and for those who don't really understand RPI, they place a value on each win and each loss, basically, is what they do. So Yeah, basically strength the schedule. So you want everyone you play to win a bunch of games. Is the easiest way to simplify it. especially if you beat a lesser, 4A or 3A team. Oh, you want them to win every game.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they don't even really count in some sports. I'm not sure in soccer, but
yeah, you get one basically. Well, there's a long ball. You get one basically that counts as if it's your same classification. But like I say, bottom line is you want the teams that you play to go win a bunch of games. That's the most simple way to break it down. And so if you're a fan of one of these teams, everyone they play, cheer for them to win. It's almost counterintuitive sometimes with school rivalries and everything.
It is.
But
it is. So we've started off here, and again, both teams coming in with 3 losses. Rocky Mountain's actually got a tie. But both teams have played strong. Pooter played Broomfield, I think, to a 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, both these
loss.
teams within the last week played Broomfield, who I mentioned earlier is the defending champ. And Broomfield scored in the last 3 minutes to win 1-0. And then Rocky Mountain, we saw them. They played just before our Fort Collins Fossil Ridge game earlier this week.
Oh, and they were 3-2. Nice shot on goal.
Good shot on goal. Aaron Biggerstaff. We're going to see a lot of Aaron Biggerstaff. He has 9 goals for the Lobos, is their key man up top. And good early shot there. Good save from Jacob Vandress for Pooter. If you're a goalkeeper, you kind of like that. It's right at you. Get a good early touch, kind of get you in the game. Goalkeepers like that. They don't want to go sit for 30 minutes and never see the ball.
Yeah, it's kind of like a layup in basketball, Give me the ball. Let me watch you go through the hoop and
get you that positive feeling early on.
And ball goes out. So
let's see if we have any flip throws last night. We had a goal from a flip throw on Tuesday night.
That's right.
Doesn't look like it here.
That was amazing for someone who's not that familiar with soccer. Tell me the advantage of that. Is it just the power and being able to throw it further, or what?
Yeah, it's a couple
It's
things.
not just showing off.
Yeah, it's a couple things. Yeah, it's definitely a strategic move, and it led to a goal for Fort Collins. It gets the ball right in the middle of the box where you can create some problems, and I think sort of an underrated aspect of it is it's just unusual. You're used, a goalkeeper and defenders are used to reading balls, kicked in, but the throw has a totally different trajectory, so it's harder to read. You're not used to defending it.
Right.
I remember when I played, a couple times we would face a team that had that, and we would spend days in practice trying to basically learn how to defend it. And as we know in any sport, anytime you kind of waste practice time on something you're not used to, coaches don't like that. So it's a really valuable thing.
Kind of like batting against a lefty.
Yeah, exactly. So we got dangerous free kick here for Rocky Mountain. Looks like Max Hand's going to take it. He'll kind of bend this in, try and look for a header on it. No, he went for the shot. Up and over. Those are hard to keep down. Especially that was a ways out, so you really need to hit perfectly to challenge the goalkeeper. But worth a shot early in the game, too, challenge a goalkeeper. But Vandress had that comfortably over.
Oh, yeah. We saw many shots on goal the other night, and we'll see how that works out tonight. Good goalkeeping we saw. Of course, Rocky Mountain, home of the best goalkeeper in the state last year in the girls' side.
Yep, Gabriella McDonald.
Yeah, and she's doing the same thing
at CSU now. She's a true freshman, already has a couple starts under her belt for shutout.
Yeah, so boys, girls, doesn't matter. It's been strong here in Fort Collins, both for the boys programs and the girls programs.
Yeah, I mean, on the boys' side, we've had teams in the semifinals each of the last 2 years. Fort Collins last year and Fossil Ridge 2 years ago. And when you expand it further, as Sweet 16 teams, we always have at least one, if not two. And these two teams are trying to get back in that mix. We talk playoff seeding. Rocky Mountain is right now number 17 in RPI. Pooter is number 23, so both are comfortably in that playoff picture. And now you're kind of at that point. Obviously, you need to keep winning to stay there, but top 16 gets you at least one home game, depending on where you are. So there's one of those deep throws, well defended by Pooter, and Vandress cleans it up. Long throw out there. we'll see kind of in the early portions of this game. There's always sort of the feeling out process, see how each team wants to play each other. A lot of familiarity between these teams, kind of like we talked Tuesday night.
Oh, yeah.
Between high school and club ball, these kids have all played with or against each other for years, really, and especially when you go back to middle school and elementary school and further. You would bet that almost everyone on this field, one way or another, at least has a vague knowledge of everyone else on it from playing with or against each other.
Well,
so not a lot of secrets between these teams.
Well, and soccer it starts so early too, even earlier than some sports. I mean, you could have been playing this when you were 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, probably like say a lot of these kids would have played together at some point. At least certainly the ones of the same age.
Seems like both teams are kind of tentative right now, just kind of feeling each other out, kind of see what we're gonna do here. And neither team's setting the world on fire with their scoring, but they're, I think they're both averaging about 2 goals a game.
Yep, definitely. And
so both teams,
they'll try and stay compact defensively and take advantage of opportunities when they get them. This one you would expect to be a 2-1 type of game.
Well, that's what the stats show. Somebody's probably going to score 2, and somebody's probably going to score 1.
That's exactly what the averages are, too.
And you just get the feeling right now, even, Boy, we saw in Fort Collins just tremendous team speed.
Yeah, they have a really pretty lethal combination of skill and athleticism, speed, and everything. And chemistry. They play really well together.
Well, and even just the, like the top 6 or 7 players were just all so fast. It was noticeable even to just the novice, who's watching it.
Yeah, they have some serious next level talent.
Got a little ouchie there. 32-23 left here in the first half. Played 2 40-minute halves in high school soccer here in Colorado. Randy McCoy, Kevin Lytle here with you. We might have a David Haase sighting later. I'm not sure. He had to do something. So either way, we got the fort covered here. Fans kind of sitting on their hands right now, waiting for some runs or something, huh?
Yeah, it's been kind of.
Oh. Ooh.
There's a good run. Russo Daly forces a defender to trip him up. That's that type of aggressive play you like to see. So now Pooter will get their first chance, kind of bin one in the box, see if they can't test the goalkeeper. And he's battling the sun. You can see right now, got the hand up in the face. That sun is bad right there. That's going to go just high.
Boy.
High and wide from side.
I always wonder what that feels like when you let a ball go over your head. Man, you got to know that it's outside the goal, don't you?
Yep.
I mean, that's a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's known where you are in the field. Goalkeeping has a lot of field awareness.
Pooter has a little drive here, but no numbers. So always trying to figure out which line down there is the field. It's the yellow line, right?
Yeah. If you're watching home, yellow lines are what the soccer plays. But yeah, especially once you get kind of in the midfield area here, there are about 100 lines. Can't tell you a number of times I've seen a player either stop thinking that they ran out of bounds on one of the other lines, or vice versa, carrying on much further than the main lines. That's what happens when you have all these multi-purpose fields, which obviously economically makes sense, but can be confusing with all the lines.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that may be above my pay grade out there. My gosh. And they're all, there's all lines around the goals too, because there's boxes and semicircles. A good geography class.
Yeah, when you start throwing in the lacrosse and field hockey and soccer and football lines.
Speaking of football, these two same teams play tomorrow night, and which I'm sure will be a packed French field.
Yeah, Rocky Pooter is always a kind of fun rivalry. Kind of in any sport, 2 schools that opened about the same time, and kind of have had a lot of history together.
Yeah. Kind of like Fossil and Collins, even though Collins is old, but, you know, you've had players go back and forth.
Yeah.
And
they have the proximity rivalry.
Yeah. Do football tomorrow night. I think for the first time, I would say that Rocky could be favored. Not for the first time, but I think
This season,
this season, I think they could have a slight edge, just considered the way they looked their last game. But you can throw the records out the window when they play, because
yeah, that's what happened last year. Pooter was definitely a better team, went to the playoffs, but still got upset by Rocky. Those are always good games. Another ball for Seidel play in. That's a dangerous ball. See if saw Russo Dele get a little head on it, but not enough to create any problems. I think that's out for a corner, though. He headed off a defender. So here, we talked a lot about this Tuesday, but these set pieces are a great chance to create opportunities out of nothing, kind of.
Well, they're the kind of equalizer, aren't they?
Yep, and these are things, I mean, you spend a lot of practice time on these. It's kind of like out of bounds plays in basketball. You have a lot of set plays here. So Seidel's going to fire it in.
Oh,
And
boy, that was.
You could see that was.
It was right on our angle, too.
Yeah, Altamirano, that was clearly set up for him.
I think that he's their
on the
leading
back
goal
corner.
setter or goal maker, I believe.
He's tied for team lead with 4, and you can see they had that play completely set up for him of kind of have everyone else rush the near post and hit the ball far for him. No.
It's kind of like a set of team screen at the free throw line
exactly.
and go over the head and shoot a 3, huh?
Yep, it's all deception and trying to pull defenders away from your target. And it worked perfectly, and a great ball from Seidel.
Have a little time to talk about, as football starts winding down here in another month or so, we'll have some basketball games, but we're also going to broadcast a couple of wrestling duels this year. Pooter Rocky, of course, which is always
it's always one of the biggest events of throughout the school year. I mean, that always packs the gym.
Yeah,
those two teams have been dominant.
So we're going to be there for you, and then probably do another Fossil Ridge Fort Collins. Pretty much any sport that those two teams get together is a good time. So we're going to keep these city games going for you.
See, Pooter started trying to attempt some of those long balls getting behind the Rocky defense. Rocky defense so far defended it pretty well. Ball looked like it might be out on that side there, but Rocky earns a corner kick. It's a good run. Max Hand charging down the side there. You can see he's got to be a handful for defenders. Tall.
Yeah, he's
looked like good speed. He's having a strong season. He's kind of their setup man, and no surprise he's taking corner kicks. He has 7 assists this year, so he's sort of the creative force for the Lobos.
Oh,
good defensive clearance on the header, because that was a good ball in from
It was
Hand.
right in the. It was right in there, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I put it right in the mixer.
Have another one here. Throw in. And nothing doing. Kind of anything goes once you get in that mixer, isn't it? When they kind of boxing out and getting your body in position. And
Yep, there's a lot that goes on down there.
Pooter's got to run, but no numbers. Nobody's running with him. Rocky's running with him, but
Yeah,
his own people aren't. So
It's one where
that was a one-on
kind of
about
feel
6.
lonely up there.
You talked the other night about how much they run, kind of the average game, 5 to 10 miles.
Yeah, you can
soccer
easily,
match.
the guys that play most of the game can easily rack up that number. You put a lot of miles on your legs in each game. Christian Smith making a good aggressive run, forcing Pooter to backtrack a little bit.
Boy, this is where you can really tell who's in shape, isn't it?
Yep, this is a grind. There's no doubt about it. And especially this time of year, again, we're right at that midpoint of the season, starting to rack up a lot of minutes played during the year, and this is where coaches start managing minutes and such.
Oh, whoa. I guess you can't do that, huh? Can't go through the guy.
Yeah, right. Typically frowned upon.
It's amazing as much flopping as there is in the pro games and stuff. I have not seen it that much in the high school, and usually you see a microcosm of a sport, you know, but haven't really noticed. Everything looks legit.
Yeah. Yep. Flopping is one of the more overrated things that people love talking about, but it's part of every pro sport.
It is.
You watch watch James Harden play basketball, and how does he get himself to the free throw line? But there's not much of that down this high school level.
Yeah, I think most of these kids are just trying to concentrate on playing the game fairly well, huh?
Yep.
We saw a good flop last Saturday. I don't know if you were tuning in for some of the Loveland Windsor, but one of the People's kids was punting and got hit in the leg, and boy, he went down like it was his broken leg. Did you see that?
I didn't, but punters and kickers, man, they know how to sell them, don't they?
He sold it. He got the flag, and then he just popped up. So it was funny, but he did a great job of selling it. And I'm sure it hurt, but I don't think it was a death blow like he. Official just picks his leg up.
Yeah, man.
Soccer is a relaxed game, man.
They're right in the middle of it. You gotta
watch it, huh?
Evade it sometimes.
So neither team really making much of a push. What do we had? One or two shots on goal even.
Yeah, each team's had one okay shot. Biggerstaff had the big shot for Rocky early in the game from a ways out, and Altamirano had the header for Pooter.
So are they aiming to – is this a strategy, or are they just – is the defense good and they just can't move the ball?
Yeah, both teams are being relatively cautious, trying to possess the ball, I should say, and kind of slowly build their way up. You don't want to expose yourself too much trying to send a bunch of numbers forward, then all of a sudden have a big counterattack against you. So both these teams very comfortable playing low-scoring game and being smart about when you go after your goal-scoring opportunities.
It's kind of like when you full-court press in basketball, and if you don't get them, a lot of times the ball can go right back the other way.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want to avoid, especially early in the game. The last thing you want to do is
like
go
Fort
down
Collins did
1-0,
last game. In the first 3 minutes.
Yep, they score first three, and those can be damaging, not just scoreboard-wise, but sort of to your psyche. So not surprising that these teams are playing it tight early on, smart and conservative.
Whistle there, and
a little foul on Pooter. I think a little forearm shove.
Coming on 20 minutes left, so halfway through this first half, no score. Pooter and Palace, Rocky Mountain Lobos here in 5A Front Range League soccer action. Both teams playing strong defense, conservative offense. Was not a bad setup, but he wasn't running full speed, huh?
Yeah, you can definitely see both teams are cautious in number of players they're sending up.
Good job by the goalie to go out
6-7 behind the ball.
Be aggressive with that. He misses that, though, he's in trouble.
Yeah, that's a good one. You don't want to let drop. Good catch from Jameson White there.
I feel like I need an English accent to do this.
It is helpful.
I've watched so much of the MLS, and a lot of times they have. Well, of course, all the leagues, all the big leagues, too. You know, something we didn't see the other night that I'm surprised. I don't remember seeing one handball.
Yeah.
You'd think there's be one or two per game, huh?
It's pretty rare, I'd say. Yeah, both these teams are really packed thick in the midfield right now, kind of clogging up any space.
You get a second, Max, pull back a little bit when they get all in the middle again so people can see what he's talking about. Everybody's within about a 30-yard. They're a little further back now, but within about a 30 or 40-yard box. It almost looks like both teams are figuring it's going to be a 1-0.
Yep, definitely.
We don't want to be the one. That's an important game for both teams, too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both are 1-3 in Front Range League play, and the league is so good. It's always just loaded with top teams. Like I said Tuesday, the Final Four semifinals every year have at least 2, if not 3, Front Range League teams in it. So basically, any league win you can get is a really big one. It helps with RPI a lot. So you have to play smart, especially in these pretty evenly matched ones. Try and give yourself a chance to win.
Well, and even in the city here, Rockies already beat Fossil Ridge. If they could squeeze out a win here against Pooter, that's going to be another good win for them as well. Soccer, both boys and girls soccer and girls volleyball, man. These Front Range leagues are just, and girls and softball. Is like all
three of those sports. The FRL is kind of a perennial state title contending type of league. They always have a team, if not a couple teams, in that mix.
Loveland, we're going to be in Loveland doing a volleyball match next week, and they're sleeping back there in the weeds in volleyball, and last I saw they were 5-1.
Yeah, there are a lot of good teams.
In any other conference, they're liable to be, dominating the conference, but they happen to be in the conference with Fossil Ridge and Fort Collins. And
yep. This is what you can expect to see. Slow build up. Calculate build up to create chance.
Oh man, what a goal. I'm so used to seeing that go by it, but wow.
That was just a perfect shot.
Man, I thought that was going to go, over it or to the side of it, but what a goal.
I believe that's Jake Swan with the shot. Defender, he came in, like we were saying, that was nice calculated build-up. They played it to him on the outside, and just a perfect curling shot up and over the.
Well, it almost lulled you to sleep. I mean, we're sitting here almost lulled to sleep, and then all of a sudden he hits a rocket.
And that was just a great shot, great setup. They found some space for him on the outside. He kind of cuts it back, and when you're kind of on the corner of the 18 there, you can pick your far corner, and he did. What a great shot.
Well, the goalkeeper didn't really have anything to do because it was over his head.
No, I mean, when you bend them like that, you can get it up and then have it drop down so that there's nothing you can do. And that's exactly what he did. Just a really great save. Or shot, I should say, to make it so it wasn't something that could be saved. Really excellent goal for the Lobos. And Pooter had the numbers, and they even had people there. It just took a great shot to beat Van Dress, and that's what Swan did.
Starting to get some wind. You can hear in our crowd mic there. Beautiful day today in Fort Collins, but starting to cool down tonight for sure. But tomorrow it's only supposed to get up to 54 and rain.
That's a little cooler day. It'll definitely feel like football weather when you guys roll up tomorrow night.
Yeah.
By that 7 o'clock kick, it may be in the 40s.
I have to turn his heat on.
Well, Dave was about to the other night.
Well, I know but you know, we'll leave it at that. Again, Rocky kind of starting to control things a little bit.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Rocky's sort of starting to control the ball well and string together some of those passes. That's how they got the goal, a string of 3 or 4 passes on
nice
the defense. But a good break here for Pooter. I think that was 16, Robert Adrian breaking forward.
Well, like I said, about 6 or 7 minutes ago, Pooter had a run down the right side. And he looked over, and there were 6 Rocky players and no Pooter player. Nobody followed him down, so he didn't have any numbers.
That's what happens when you get yourself stretched a little too far. That separation between defense, midfield, and forward, all of a sudden, if you try and counter quick, your forward looks up and doesn't have any friends with him. It can be a lonely life, a forward up there. There are times you get the ball and you kind of just have to hold it to let your team get up, especially with kind of how Pooter's been defending in numbers. It obviously takes some time to transition, so sometimes that forward's job, obviously you hear forward, all you think is goal scoring. But a lot of times it's holding possession to allow your team to come up and the defenders to rest and everything. So there's a lot that goes into being that forward.
It was in the middle there, nice pass.
There's a good left foot shot. Russo Dele, who's one of their attacking threats. He has 4 goals this year as well. Good left foot shot.
Great pass.
Didn't have a great angle. Yeah, exactly.
Great soccer play, really.
A couple quick passes there, found him in space.
But kicked it right to the goalkeeper.
Yep, just didn't have an angle to find a corner on that one. It's going to be interesting. We're down to about 11:30 left in a half to see how these teams play. At the end of the half, we saw this kind of similar situation Tuesday night. If you're Pooter, you want to make sure at minimum you get down into half down 1-0. You're still feeling fine. They've had a couple of small chances, and you can see how they can create some more. Rocky Mountain would love a second goal here, because especially with how tight this game has been played, a 2-goal lead feels like a whole heck of a lot. Some nice
into the
passing.
post there, yeah, that was
finding some space. Cross coming
in. See if they can get a header in there.
Yeah. That's one of those. Cross wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but hung in the air so long it let one of the forwards get in, and Van Der Ess had to just punch it over rather than try and challenge, one-on-one midair. Because that's another, obviously, if the goalkeeper loses that, it's dropping in for.
Well, I was going to say, great timing by the goalkeeper, because when you're waiting for something that soft, you could easily jump too quick.
That thing must have felt like it was in the air for an hour.
Way out, that's what I'm saying. And you could have jumped too quick or mistimed your jump.
Yep. So another corner for Rocky Mountain. That handle, I think
22 for Pooter coming in. Paulson, I believe, sophomore. Try to get you some of these numbers in here. Those Pooter uniforms, I'm not even sure they have numbers on them. Pretty hard to see.
The front is easy to read with the white numbers. The back with the blue numbers is a little hard.
Yeah. See who can good clear by the Rocky player.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of substitutions here.
Number 10.
Shrigley coming in for Pooter. Yeah, rolling through, making sure to keep fresh legs and everything.
Trying to chest it over there, if that's what it's called.
Little chest pass.
And goes out. Pooter has the throw in. Pooter looks like they want to set up some kind of play. I would say with 8 minutes left, they ought to be trying to score here. But again, they don't want to expose themselves too far down because Rocky's shown now they've got some speed and they know how to use it.
Here goes Pooter. They have some numbers coming up.
Good D.
Yeah, that was well defended. I think that was Timmy Thompson. If I saw 13 right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a attempted cross there from Justin Jamnick. Just floated a little long into the hands of White.
Rocky just seems like they got a little more energy.
Yeah, it was a ambitious crossfield ball.
And Rocky got
here's
some.
Pooter with a
Pooter.
Counter opportunity. Shrigley again.
They've had
shot
some
on
nice
goal,
looking
yeah.
longer shots, but
yeah,
goalkeepers hardly had to move.
Starting to slowly create a little pressure here in the foul. Last couple minutes, I should say. See, they've slowly started moving a few more numbers forward. And they'll get a free kick here, which will encourage that even more. They'll probably send this right into the box, see if they can't create some mayhem. Try and drop right in front of the goalkeeper. Then gotta clear that first man. That's why you always have that defender kind of there in front of the mess to try and clear it out if they can. There's some space for Pooter.
Pooter fans starting to get a little restless here. And goal! 22, that's, I believe, Paulson.
Yeah, Jackson Paulson, a great shot. You could see that coming up. Rusadele created some space, slid a square ball through to Paulson about 25 yards out and right in the middle of the goal. You know, he had all the space to wind up, and you could see him tee that up and just a rocket right into the upper corner past White.
Yeah, what a great shot.
Great shot.
Boy, we have seen two great shots, haven't we?
Definitely. Those are two great goals. As you can hear from the students, that's Jackson Paulson, just a sophomore, really nice shot.
Well, and that's what Pooter's got to be happy with, because they've got some youngsters on the team. I mean, they've got a lot of seniors, but I think they probably feel like they can build something now. They have not been good in the past.
And that's what.
Oh,
misclearance, but he recovers. But that right there is what we were talking about earlier. Those, first and last few minutes of the half, Pooter scores with about 6 minutes left in half. Totally changes the outlook of this game. Now, big final 5 minutes here before the break.
And you can see a little more giddy up in their step, both teams now.
Yep, it's certainly created some urgency from Rocky.
Oh, no call on that. No,
they did. Say, there's the
he little helped him with his momentum, didn't he?
There's the familiarity between the teams.
Folks, that's turf too. That's not grass. So
yeah, you get burned up pretty good on this.
Yeah, as Kevin knows, he played in high school, and
We'll see if Biggerstaff, he had one similar to this early in the half and went for the shot, went high. We'll see if he goes for a shot or if he tries to cross it into the group. Looks like a shooting.
Yep.
And he does.
Just can't
You can
get
see
it down.
he has a lot of power on that. Which, those guys like shooting. He's a guy, like I say, he has 9 goals this year, so you know he has the freedom to shoot.
Boy, that would have been good from 10 yards further back. And wholesale changes now. 16 for Rocky. Mason Thompson's coming in, and several Pooter players who've already been in. I think they've already run almost their whole.
Yeah, Coach Eckhoff is definitely kind of going through everyone. Like I say, keep those legs fresh this time of year. You manage.
Well, when you're tied, too, I mean, it's. I like the way that Paulson out there carries himself. He seems pretty quick.
Yeah, he's had a lot of energy in the midfield. I think he's bringing a really nice element. Yeah.
Kind of sticks out a little bit just with his energy.
Yeah, we have a nice battle going on here between Rusadele and defender Riley Eberling. Kind of been going back and forth several times.
Yeah, they're.
That's a good battle. And Rusadele is.
No harm, no foul, man.
Yeah, he's quite a weapon for Pooter, and obviously Rocky's well aware of that, trying to keep close eye on him. Those are always fun battles. A little undercut on the header attempt. Getting a little physicality here in the last 5 minutes. You can see, and that goal from Pooter really ratcheted up sort of the intensity of this one.
Well, and it
snapped everyone to life a bit.
And it is Pooter and Rocky, and certainly the oldest.
Pooter and Rocky in an important game.
In all sports, really. You know, we talked a little bit about wrestling, and maybe one of the biggest events of the year is when they wrestle each other, you know.
Gym's always full for that one.
And, you know, both be good crowd tomorrow night. Neither team's having a great year, but we've had it where they've both been really good, man. And we've got 4,000 people in this in football. Obviously, soccer is growing, and there's the ball boy who was running a little behind there. He gets his, he or she gets their miles in too, don't they?
Yeah, no
The
kidding.
ball chasers.
Cover a lot of ground. Down to 2 minutes left and a half. You just saw Pooter's Coach Eric Eckhoff. He subbed out some of his top attacking guys, and that's a kind of a typical strategy if you can steal them a couple extra minutes rest at the end of the half. So instead of a 10-minute halftime, they get almost a 15-minute halftime to recharge the legs, be ready to go in the second half. Pretty typical but smart coaching strategy there. So anytime you can maximize the energy from your top guys, it's key.
Pretty obvious push, but maybe that push isn't a foul. So see if he centers it. Nah, and he can't. Goes out.
Down in the final minute here. I think both teams are probably happy to just go into half 1-1. Be pretty cautious here in the final minute.
Well, that's what we said. This game's destined to be 2-1.
Yep.
So
it's looking like it.
You don't really see either team really having the firepower to come out here and score 2 or 3 goals.
No team's going to run away with this one. It's going to be tight throughout. And you can just see by the way both are playing it.
Pooter says, let's make one more chance here. And he does! Goal! 15 seconds left.
That is just huge.
player centered it. Looks like, to me, the goaltender lost the ball in the crowd or something, and
just a really nice deflection. That was a great cross. I think that was Jacob B. got to the byline, as we call it, crossed it, and looked like that was number 3, Owen Carpenter Zay. Buried it, but man, with 15 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, and still 15. Forgot to start the.
Yeah, so Pooter's going to go in with a 2-1 lead. That's just a massive goal right there, and 2 goals in the final 6 minutes of the half for the Impalas.
So the Impalas, in my mind, looking a little bit like they were sleepwalking the first, and both teams just bunched in the middle. But in the last 5 minutes, it's like Rocky Mountain woke them up when they scored.
Yeah, well, I think Pooter was kind of doing what they expected. They were playing, tight defensive game and try and take advantage of their chance when they got them, and they did late.
So there you go, folks. 2-1. Pooter ahead of Rocky here at half. We've got a 10-minute break, so we'll take a break here, let you hear from our sponsors. We did not have a stoppage in play there, so we need to let you see the fine sponsors that sponsor this broadcast. Please go out and buy stuff from them and support them. Tell them you saw this. Again, this is only the second boys soccer match that we've done, so we're trying it out to see how well everybody likes it. So anyway, our score, Pooter 2 and Rocky 1. We'll be back after this.
At Toyota, safety isn't an option, it's standard. So features like lane departure alert and pre-collision system are always included on every single Toyota RAV4. To get similar features on a Rogue, Nissan charges over get $3,000 cash back.
Pay your friends back before they pay you back. Zelle on the First Bank app. First Bank, banking for good.
There comes a time in every athlete's life when their participation in sports is coming to an end, and so officiating is a way to stay involved.
The day I started officiating is just as fun as now.
When I'm officiating, making decisions, a decision that's instantaneous, for me there's no greater feeling.
I became an official because I wanted to give back.
Get off the couch and get into the game.
Become an official.
At Toyota, safety isn't an option, it's standard. So features like lane departure alert and pre-collision system are always included on every single Toyota RAV4. To get similar features on a Rogue, Nissan charges over $6,000. They shouldn't. We don't. Just announced, get $3,000 cash back on a new 2018 Toyota RAV4. For other great deals, visit your Toyota dealer today. Or find your Toyota at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Toyota, safety isn't an option, it's standard. So features like lane departure alert and pre-collision system are always included on every single Toyota RAV4. To get similar features on a Rogue, Nissan charges over $6,000. They shouldn't. We don't. Just announced, get $3,000 cash back on a new 2018 Toyota RAV4. For other great deals, visit your Toyota dealer today. Or find your Toyota at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. At Toyota, safety isn't an option, it's standard. So features like lane departure alert and pre-collision system are always included on every single Toyota RAV4. To get similar features on a road, Nissan charges over $6,000. They shouldn't. We don't. Just announced, get $3,000 cash back on a new 2018 Toyota RAV4. For other great deals, visit your Toyota dealer today. Or find your Toyota at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Pay your friends back before they pay you back. Zelle on the First Bank app. First Bank, banking for good.
There comes a time in every athlete's life when their participation in sports is coming to an end, and so officiating is a way to stay involved.
The day I started officiating is just as fun as now.
When I'm officiating, making decisions, a decision that's instantaneous, for me there's no greater feeling.
I became an official because I wanted to give back.
Get off the couch and get into the game.
Become an official.
So we're back here getting ready for the second half, 40 minutes on the clock. Pooter, 2-1 lead here against Rocky Mountain. Coming out in the last 5 minutes and really showing some energy that we had not seen earlier, and so was able to get a second goal in there with about 15 seconds left, and really crazy. Looked to me like they were just kind of, running out the clock. They centered the ball really well, and forget who scored that, number 3 maybe, that last goal.
Yep.
But and it almost looked like the goaltender just wasn't ready, or he didn't see the ball, or didn't see.
Well, it's one of those the way it was set up, with B coming in from the byline there, kind of coming on the in line and crossing to the middle. You're kind of no man's land because you have to be wary of a deflection coming from anywhere because he doesn't know if there's someone running near post or far post, and it was just perfectly placed and a perfect deflection into the corner. Huge final 6 or so minutes of the half for Pooter to go up 2-1, and now I'm really fascinated to see how both teams are going to come out, but especially Pooter. They kind of. Oh, that's a dangerous ball.
He whiffed on that.
Just ran past Christian Smith. Because, that created a problem for their defender. But Pooter opened the game. Both teams really opened the game pretty conservatively, packed in defensively. And Pooter started coming out of that in the last 15 minutes or so, and that's what led to the 2 goals. But now with the 2-1 lead, are they going to defend pretty tight, or are they going to kind of stay aggressive early and then maybe wait until 20 or 15 minutes left in the game to start locking down a little bit more?
And that's just coaching preference, isn't it? Or what you think you can.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of reading the game. If Coach Eckhoff is feeling pretty comfortable, he maybe kind of tell them go get a third and then we'll defend. Because like I say, with the nature of this game, a 2-goal lead would be pretty significant.
Last thing they want to do though is give up a quick goal.
Yeah, I think they'll be.
It changes the whole game, doesn't it?
Definitely. I'm guessing Rocky is going to try and be pretty aggressive here in the first 5 to try and get even and then see where you can go from there.
Good speed there by the Pooter player.
That's just going to run out. Good defensive play to get in front of that, and then, just let it run on this turf. That's the thing. You don't have to worry about slowing up and stopping on the field turf here.
Not quite like playing on cement, but
no,
in some ways
it still moves pretty good, as opposed to the natural grass fields where depending on how long it's cut, it can die. Here's a good chance for Pooter.
Oh, good.
It's a good defensive play.
Yeah. He doesn't make that defensive play. He's got a player right in front of the goal there that one pass, and that's a.
Yeah. Yeah, that looked really dangerous once he got around the corner there.
So throw in now by Pooter. Looks like Pooter's going to try to stay aggressive here, at least to start.
Yeah, kind of slowly working their way into dangerous territory.
Well, if you're Rocky, you certainly can't fall asleep. That's the. Again, Rocky player going down, but he's 1 on 6. So
that's good numbers from Pooter to kind of surround him and cut off all channels, both for dribbling and to find a pass.
Just let him a little too much.
That's another one. Try and shepherd it out. Good defensive play.
I want to thank our other sponsor, Jim's Wings. They're Campus West, best wings in northern Colorado since 1991. Jim's Wings, right there across from Moby Arena on Elizabeth. Make sure you go in there and tell them you heard about them on the soccer broadcast. Oh, I say, boy, you better get back over. you kind of got to get warmed up again too. You've been running for 40 minutes and you sat for 10, and now hopefully they stretched out. I'm sure they did, but kind of got to get those muscles going again.
That was a good attempt to pass. He was in a lot of space, just couldn't find the right ball. That's another one of those. It kind of takes off on the turf a bit. I think Pooter's open this half brightly. I think we have our answer. They're going to try and control the ball and see if they can't work another goal and really build an important 2-goal lead here. They don't want to sit back. I like that strategy. Trying to just sit and defend for 40 minutes is really risky because once you do that, you're pretty much committed to it. And if your opponent does get an equalizer, it's hard to shift that mindset and all of a sudden go back into attack mode. So I like the aggressive mentality here.
Well, and again, the 2 goals they've netted have both been, great plays. Who's to say they won't have another one,
Yeah, that's
if
why I like
you stay in the middle of the field.
And take the confidence from those final minutes of the first half and try and continue in the second. So I like the strategy right now.
Rockies was
offside on Rocky.
A great goal, but it was a single person with an outstanding,
phenomenal shot.
Yeah, one of the
we've had beautiful
as good
goals
a high school
tonight.
shot as you'll see. Again, want to let you know tomorrow night we'll have football here on Streaming Sports. Rocky and Pooter next Tuesday. Have our first volleyball match from Loveland High School. Want to wish my son a happy birthday tomorrow. Cody McCoy, who's he does our volleyball games for us with Sam Peters.
Happy birthday, Cody.
Yeah, the big 2-4 tomorrow.
I think maybe Cody's senior year was my first year at the Colorado.
Was it?
Maybe
13.
Yep.
Yeah, Fossil Ridge basketball player.
The tail end of Cody's high school career.
Yeah, ended his career in the Sweet 16 against Arapahoe, I believe.
Well, happy birthday, Cody.
Yeah. Kind of got him and Chris Hansen and Cody Mivshik kind of got that Fossil Ridge thing going that they had for about 10 years.
There's Milo Gill with a pretty good effort to even get that shot because that was defended tightly, but just couldn't keep it down. I think we have an injury.
It's our first one we've seen tonight.
I think that's Connor Alexander kind of being escorted off by his teammates. I didn't see what happened, but maybe got a little blow to the head or something. He looks a little staggered. So hopefully he'll be all right. Might be a little blood too. If you're bleeding, you have to exit the field. It looks like he might have a cut on his head. He's kind of pointing to the crown of that hairline.
And so different in high school. They stop the clock for those things and don't really add any extra time.
Good aggressive defensive play from Pooter. Cut off. As Jacob B again cutting the ball off and then make it a long run. That's what led to the second goal.
Oh.
Good slide tackle. Bing Kelly. Yeah, you can just see the confidence from Pooter right now. They're kind of that
well, they got nothing.
Stereotypical, the half step ahead that everyone loves talking about.
Yeah.
And but they really are. They're kind of all those loose balls, free balls. They're winning them right now.
Well, just like right there, they come out of that with the ball and, just kind of the 50-50. We talk about that in basketball, don't we? Who's getting the 50-50 balls? And that's who's typically ahead is the. you keep playing hard, good things will happen. And I would have to say that that's kind of what's happened with Pooter here. 31 minutes left. Down in the coffin corner. And tries to center that, but it doesn't have quite enough oomph on it. But Pooter gets it back. Pooter does not have to be in a hurry. They don't want to stall, but they certainly don't need to be in a hurry.
No, and they're playing this really smartly right now. They've had most of the ball possession here in the second half. Have created some small chances, but more importantly, they've cut off every Rocky Mountain attack, so Lobos haven't been able to create anything dangerous so far in the second half. That's just what you want when you're in the lead, turns out.
Good.
It's hard to be scored upon when you have the ball.
Yeah, and it's what we say sometimes about football is like sometimes the best defense is your offense hanging on to the ball.
Yep, I mean, ball possession soccer is kind of the soccer version of milking the clock. It does a couple things. Obviously, your opponent doesn't have the ball and can't score, but it's also exhausting. It's always it's more tiring to defend than it is to possess the ball.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Another play again. Rabbi Phelan coming over, cutting off passing lanes, and that's what Pooter's been great at. I mean, Rocky just hasn't been able to string several passes together because Pooter is anticipating really well and getting in front of those passes and cutting them off.
Nice lead pass there.
I think there's Rowan Slater on the outside. And he's got to earn a corner kick. It's a good job. That's another one of those youngsters, Rowan Slater, freshman.
Well, he learned that. He learned that move.
Yeah, you can see some quickness. Good quick feet with the ball. Should have got those lime green shoes. It's always a sign those guys can play. You better play if you wear shoes like that. See, Pooter clearly has a set play coming with how they're lined up at the back post there. I'm guessing, again, a bunch will go far post, one will drop.
Oh!
There it is. That's the same play we saw in the first half set up for Altamirano. Everyone runs, they kind of have that big line. Everyone runs near post, and he takes 2 steps, basically as a fake, and then drops back, and the cross comes in, and he's been kind of alone each time. That's a brilliant play. I love the play design on that one.
What
that's
a perfect
where I'm talking.
kick, though.
Yeah, exactly, and that takes placement. There's a lot of practice hours that have gone into that, and here's Altamirano again.
Oh,
big
man.
save, Jamison White. That's
how accurate was that kick?
Yep, in the last 2 minutes, Altamirano, 2 really good chances, and Jamison White, 2 really big saves, and those are huge saves to keep Rocky within 1 here.
Yeah, that was a great kick, great save. Before that, a well-executed play for Pooter. And a good save, good defense, because really should have been scored.
Yeah, we'll see. They're lined up the same way. If this will still be across the far post, Altamirano just subbed out, but they may have someone else that they line up for it. Or maybe not. You've done that a couple times. You run a near post play. Still to the far post. That was a good defensive job by Rocky Mountain. They had that one sniffed out. Here's a big counterattack chance. Blake Nipple with a great defensive play there to step up. That's, if you hesitate for 1 second, all of a sudden you're beat and in trouble. That's a great play from the Pooter defender there.
Fans getting into it here. Not a ton of them, maybe a couple hundred, but it's getting to crunch time, isn't it? It's Pooter and Rocky. It don't matter what sport.
It's always fun.
Except maybe baseball. Rocky's pretty dominant. And
although even that now, you have a Rocky guy coaching Pooter.
yeah.
Luke Cheever. I think people are really excited about their future with him. So,
oh, yeah.
So there you go. Another tie between these two teams. We got.
Oh, nice
I think
job.
we're going to whistle here. Pooter's got a guy down. That's Keegan Seidel, who's he's been playing a lot of those good crosses that have created chances. He some sort of foot or ankle issue, it looks like, maybe even cramping. Hopefully nothing super significant. He's trying to get himself up and off the field.
Talking about schools, you know, Rocky girls coach now.
Looks like a cramp right there.
Comes from Fossil Ridge is Coach Vietnam is a coach. I can't remember.
Vallejo, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin
Coach
Vallejo.
V
He was C-team basketball coach at Fossil Ridge, now taking over Rocky Mountain, I think.
Saul's starting his coaching tree now, you know, or
yep, definitely.
he might have been with Johansson. I don't know. Saul's is part of Johansson, so. We had
goalkeeping change for Rocky Mountain right now too.
Well, I
think that might be
warming up.
Aaron Anaya going in for Jamison White. White had a couple really huge saves. He's done a good job keeping Pooter in this, or Rocky Mountain in this the last few minutes. We're down to just over 25 minutes left in the game here. Pooter's still holding a 2-1 lead. Both goals come in about the last 6 minutes of the first half. Pooter's done a good job. Rocky Mountain hasn't been able to create any chances here in the first 15 minutes of the second half. Pooter's possessed the ball well, kind of controlled the tempo of the game.
And you wouldn't, you know, you see such an ebb and flow in these soccer matches, as I've learned, and you wouldn't have said that in the first 15 minutes of this match.
Yeah, exactly.
Pooter looked sleepy to me, and then all of a sudden, when Rocky scored, it's like it woke Pooter up.
Yeah, and that'll happen. The old phrase from some of my favorite English soccer announcers are goals change games.
Yep.
Nothing changes the tone, the vibe of a game more than goal, which yeah, obviously is kind of common sense, but also incredibly true.
Well, it does, and it changed for Pooter. I mean, it changed for Rocky because it gave him the lead, but kind of got Pooter going, hey, that's right, we got a soccer match tonight.
Here's kind of the first good chance for Rocky Mountain to get some numbers forward. They'll be able to play this cross in. You'll want to drop this about 10 yards out from goal. It's a good dangerous ball, good punch from Van Dress to clear it out. Pooter's just winning every one of those balls coming in.
Well, yeah, it just seems to be a Pooter player everywhere.
Yeah, right now the way they're defending in numbers, it's one of those you start counting. Do they have 12 out there? Obviously.
Oh boy, that was
great ball in. That was Max Hand with a great cross. Ford just couldn't get a clean touch on it. That was a great ball. You can see cross like that. That's why Hand has so many assists this year. So he's a pretty excellent playmaker.
That was a great pass. Or cross, as you call it. Pooter's like, all right, well, we held him now. Let's go down and see if we can't get something. You know, last thing Rocky wants is another tie. Not sure how they work.
Prefer that to a loss.
Huh?
Prefer it to a loss.
Yeah, I guess.
In the last few minutes here, Rocky's possessing a little better. Oh, nice move from Hand.
Good defense.
Yeah.
And he's foul, I guess. So
it's going to be a goal kick for Pooter. Rocky Rocky was arguing it should be a corner kick, and now the referees are going to discuss, and they agree. Goal kick. Good defensive play. Hand beat the first guy, but the central defender came in and cleared it off a hand to earn Pooter the ball back. And that's why I mean Pooter's doing a great job of that defending in numbers, and that's what you need, because one guy can get beat, but if you have that second defender there, it's hard to beat a string of defenders at once.
That boy ought to be kicking on the football team.
Yeah. Yeah, does Mark know about him?
He might be, probably.
That's actually a fairly frequent thing for football teams to recruit. I know my high school, our main kicker was also our starting goalkeeper. They used him on kickoffs and everything. You can see these goal kicks. It's a pretty direct comparison to how you do kickoffs and everything. So they're actually a lot. You see many kickers, college and even NFL kickers, that kind of their childhood was spent as soccer players.
Well, it all started with Jan Stenerud years and years and years and years ago for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
Kind of one of the first soccer style. They used to call it soccer style kicker.
Yep.
Because they used to kick straight on.
Yep.
Now everybody kicks it that way. So probably every kicker had some soccer.
Last year, Windsor's kicker, Julia Broghammer, she was also on their state title winning soccer team. She was a starter on the state championship soccer team and starting kicker on the
she did
football
a good job
team.
too.
Yeah, really good kicker. She, I know she was looking at colleges for a while. And actually, I know a female just signed a D1 scholarship last year to be a kicker.
Haase doesn't think they're humans, but on the football field.
Well, coaches sometimes don't either. Depends on how they're doing.
So is that Pooter kid still kicking at CSU?
Yep, Braxton Davis. He
does kickoffs.
So he walked on. Actually, a really cool story in Braxton Davis. He walked on, and this summer, but in fall camp, he was awarded a scholarship. So really cool for Braxton. And he does their kickoffs. He did get one field goal attempt this year, although it was wiped out by a penalty. That was in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. But I actually wouldn't be surprised if Braxton gets some field goal opportunities. They've struggled in the kicking game a bit. Wyatt Bryan, the starter, has missed a few. So Braxton, I think, is definitely in the mix to possibly kick some field goals here. But regardless, really cool story. A local kid walking on and earning a scholarship.
Oh, nice.
That's good defensive play from Rocky Mountain. Have the two guys back, because that looked really dangerous for a minute.
We were talking a little bit about, Windsor has no kicker this year, really, and we've been really spoiled here in Fort Collins for the last 10 years with really at least one Division I kicker on one team somewhere.
Alex Kinney is
at CU,
and he's a captain for CU. Started at 4 years as a punter.
Well, the fans are really into this game now. You can hear, boy, dangerous ball, but Rocky still keeps it.
That's a handball right there. You were talking about that earlier. And that's where you'll see him. You go to shoot, and it's kind of natural human reaction to put that in front of your face. But the ruling is if your arm is in an unnatural position, and that's what it is when you raise it up as a kind of protection. And now there's a great chance. We'll see again. We'll see if they go for the cross or for the shot. This one, if I'm taking a free kick, you bend it toward the far post, have your guys run onto it, hope they can get a deflection, but even if they don't, it's on goal and maybe can create a problem for the goalkeeper. That's what it was. Oh, header just high. That's Harry Yaxel with the cross.
That was about as easy.
Yeah, that was a clean header. You don't find clean headers like that. I think Pooter got caught by surprise with a quick free kick. And
wow.
Clean header, that's a huge opportunity with 18 minutes left for
unguarded,
Rocky Mountain to tie
literally.
it. That's a big play right there.
And again, the fans are trying to look. There's just not, that's a lot of noise coming from 200-300 fans down there. Boy, the last thing, another shot in, goal!
There it is. There's that big 2-goal lead.
Wow, that's like eating lettuce, man. That was easy.
Yep. I think that was 18 Gonzalo Villalpando for the Lobos, for the Impalas. And
that was just straight on, man.
Yep.
It's almost like the goalie didn't see it.
Yeah, I think there's some sort of miscommunication there, certainly. But huge goal, 3-1 Pooter with 17:47 left in the game.
Yeah, it's like he didn't even see that one. Hardly responded.
Yeah, really big goal from Pooter.
Goalie kind of wasting a little time here.
Yeah, now
Wow.
Rocky kind of has to go into desperation mode. Now you do have to start sending a lot of people up.
Well, they're going to kick themselves for not making that header just now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, cleared it out.
How big a turn is that? They get a clear header, a tie, and then about less than 2 minutes later, Pooter scores to make it a 2-goal lead. That's a massive swing right there. That's probably a game-changing, game-deciding swing right there.
And as open as the Pooter goal was, the header was equally as open. He just hit it wrong.
Yeah, but
I'm not sure how you aim your header.
It's hard to connect on the. That's one of those that a small difference makes a big. Small difference on where you connect with your head makes a big difference on where it goes. There's definitely plenty of trickiness to those.
Pooter just looks hungry, don't they?
Yeah,
they got something to prove.
Yeah, they've been very aggressive the second half, winning kind of all those 50-50 balls. And this is a super important game. And like I said earlier, Pedersen at 23 in RPI, Rocky Mountain 17. So this is going to be, if Pooter holds on, a nice boost. And like I said, now you're trying to eye moving into that top 16, because top 16 gets you a home game in the first round of the playoffs. And any Front Range League win is a significant win because of how good the league is. And you can see now Rocky Mountain has a lot of numbers up. They kind of, honestly, just 2 guys back to Fane now, and that's what you need to do at this point.
But they've got to watch out for the long kick and
the quick counterattacks. But they're going to get a free kick here. They'll send even more numbers forward, see if they can't get one back. If you get one in the next 5 or so minutes, you have plenty of time. And 15 minutes can be an eternity, and that's where we're at right now. There's another one. Yaxall is going to send it in, look for a deflection. A little header. There it was, just a little wide. Those are sometimes tough when you're the free kick is straight down the middle of the field. It's hard to get any angle to create a cross and then header.
Yeah, it'd be so much easier if you could just hit it with your hand,
Yeah, it's called basketball.
Yeah, I guess it is. Or lacrosse. We did lacrosse games 2 years ago, and we're going to bring that back this year with some boys lacrosse. That's a fun game to watch.
That's an exciting sport. It's sort of a blend of soccer and hockey almost.
And even some basketball.
And there are definitely some basketball concepts of movement and everything. And
screens. And
yep. Yeah, that's an entertaining sport. And the PSD team's been down for a few years, but, man, when they were good a few years ago, people get really into that.
Boy,
you can see the urgency from Rocky Mountain now. They're taking this free kick quick, sending everyone up. Yaxall's going to send this one in. But they know they need one quick if they're going to try and get back into this. And that's going to go out for a corner. There's another one. They're going to start sending so many numbers up. You can see they just have the one defender back. Outside your picture, about midfield is the only Rocky Mountain defender back. And even he's creeping up because, like I say,
do you pull your goalie in soccer like you do in hockey when you're
so you have to have a goalie on the field officially.
Okay.
But you will see them come up, for a corner kick like that and shot goes over. So you will see a goalkeeper come up and be thrown in the mix late in games when you need a goal. You do have to have someone designated as a goalkeeper in a jersey and everything. But I've even seen situations where you'll sub in a forward, have him put on the goalkeeper jersey just because you have to have someone in it, and have them just play as a forward. And if you get, what's it? My philosophy is, what the heck's the difference between 4-1 and 3-1? You lose either way.
Yeah.
Might as well take a shot. It's not, goal difference doesn't play a part in RPI or anything like that. So why not? So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we may see Nyaya come up at some point if they get goal kick or a corner kick or anything. Now, we were mentioning the urgency of Rocky Mountain a minute ago with the free kick, taking it really quickly. Exact opposite now for Pooter, though. We'll slowly take our time, get everyone up.
Dangerous shot if you're Rocky. That ball could have went anywhere after on the deflection. He laid it right in front of the goal. Under 11:50 left here this second half.
What we'll also see here pretty soon is Pooter will start subbing with some frequency, because substitutions are a good way to drain a few seconds on the clock.
Clears it all the way down to the other side.
Rocky sub here. It's Christian Smith coming back in. He's created some chances on that right wing, so they'll try and feed him the ball.
It's almost like there's a recording of some fan noise, because I'm looking out and it's like this many people can't be making this much noise, but they are. Lively crowd. It's great to see.
We got some extracurriculars there. That's going to be our first card of the night. Rocky Mountains O. It's one of those where the frustration comes in. You kind of clip out at someone's heels as they walk by. Some I have been guilty of myself, if we're being honest. That's what happens in these. A lot of emotion into it. You get frustrated.
And you get a yellow card.
Yep.
And what does that mean?
So yellow card, you have to sub off right away, but it's your first caution. 2 cautions is an ejection. You can also, over the course of the season, if you accumulate too many yellow cards, you can be suspended for a game as well.
That's a red card.
Yeah, a red card in one game is a suspension. Then, like I say, yellow card accumulation during the season can lead to a suspension. I honestly don't remember the exact number in high school, how many you have to accumulate. It's usually about 3 in 10 games or something like that is usually what it is.
It's pretty rare. I mean, that's 2 games and 2 yellow cards, I believe we've seen.
Yep.
And it's been a hard-fought match, so and it's by far not over. But both teams have played hard.
Yeah, and it's been a clean one. That's kind of the first little extracurricular we've seen. We've seen some hard tackles, but good clean hard tackles, which is nothing wrong with that.
Unless you're a quarterback.
Well, that's a whole different thing. But Poudre's just seems really calm right now. Under control, I guess I would call it, and how they're playing this game.
Pass.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they've been doing all half, is just jump in front of everything. They're first to most balls. This has just been a really composed effort from Poudre. And even when they went down 1-0, there was no there was a sense of urgency, but not panic or anything, which is always a good sign for sort of maturity of a team.
I've been pretty impressed with them. They're a good team.
Yeah, you can see how they would play Broomfield close. Just like I say, just that calmness to them. High school teams, or in any sport really, but with kids that age, you can kind of go helter-skelter sometimes when things don't go as planned. But they've basically been the opposite. Very under control in everything they do. Very organized. Eric Eckhoff has had some really good success with Pooter, and really good coach. We have all our coaches in the city are good. We're really spoiled with the coaching here, and you can see it in the structure of these teams. So we're now down 8.5 left. Pooter's trying to salt this away. They've been really impressive tonight. And just like I was mentioning with the substitutions, every time the ball goes out, Eric Eckhoff sends another player up to sub in, and that's just, not everyone loves it, but some gamesmanship to kill the clock, and honestly every team does. I've never seen a team that's winning not use that strategy, because it's there. Why wouldn't you? It's kind of the soccer equivalent of, well, if a football team that's winning, you wait to snap the ball until the play clock's down at the end, because why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. And why wouldn't you kick the ball all the way down the other end?
Yeah.
And make them go get it.
Yeah, when in doubt, just clear it, make them build, over 100 yards some play, because that's hard to do.
Yeah, well, and at some point, Rocky gets tired. They're not robots. And really, Pooter's made them run.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about early in the second half here. Is a lot of times the best way to defend is to have the ball, and that's what Pooter's done. That we don't have possession stats here in high school like you do in the pro leagues, but if we did, Pooter would definitely have the edge in possession in the second half here.
Another substitution. Under 7 minutes now.
And that's what Pooter's doing, just intercepting everything, making Rocky slowly build. And then when they're just
not allowing Rocky to get anything. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, I mean, Rocky, that clear header that they had just before Pooter's third goal was really the lone chance they've had. I think we're gonna have a little chat. We saw a couple players sort of jawing with each other. I think the referee's gonna have a little talking to, so calm everyone down. And this is a good way to do it. Don't overreact and throw out a card or anything. Just have a quiet talking to. Say, calm down.
He was actually jawing with his own teammates, so they were talking about something, but his teammate was trying to calm the young man down.
So quiet talking to. I think that's good refereeing right there.
Well, and the official obviously knows this is Rocky Pooter, unless they don't live here. People say it's just another game. It's not just another game in town here. There's especially these two. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of people living in this town who graduated from these two high schools.
Yeah.
That still are very interested in their sports. They watch our broadcasts, and we get notes all the time. And a lot of them are alumni that they just like to keep track of what their old high school is doing. I don't know how long they've had the soccer programs, but. Rocky here coming under 5 minutes here. Rocky really needs to at least score one here to kind of get their energy back up, because they're wearing down, and that, like you said, a goal changes everything.
Yeah, we're just clipping under the 5-man mark here. But yeah, like you said, just the way Pooter has defended that'll wear you out. Physically, certainly, but also mentally. It's just frustrating when every time you think you have some buildings, something being well set up, then they intercept a ball or break up a play, and you just can't create anything. It's very frustrating to have a half like this where you haven't had many chances, especially when you're looking at a 2-goal deficit. This is one of those where a 2-goal deficit feels like 5.
And then you look back and say, well, we missed a header that was right right there.
But in a game like this where the chances are so few, those are magnified. But all credit to Pooter for how they've played this. They've basically executed a plan to a T.
What's to say if Pooter wins this, it's, you know, Rocky didn't lose this. I think Pooter won this.
Absolutely. Pooter's done everything they need to. See if Biggerstaff can create some. You got two guys all over Biggerstaff every time he gets the ball. They know he's kind of the danger man.
Well, and they're just not giving up. Pooter, you know, they're not laying back and saying, all right, well, you can have one of them. Because when you do that, then, you know, anything can happen. So you want to keep that 2-goal lead. That way, if something fluke happens, you still got the...
Yep, exactly. Safety net.
Or what do you call it, an own goal?
Yep.
Which we saw Tuesday night. Yeah, Pooter's just mucking things up, aren't they?
Yeah, and they have 9 back basically in the box defending, which you should with 3 minutes left and a 2-goal lead. No need to have any numbers forward. Just try and salt the game away. Assuming this holds, Pooter will move to 6-3 and 2-3 in Front Range League play. Lobos will fall to 4-4-1. Like I said earlier, both are in pretty good playoff position. Need to keep picking up some wins throughout the final few weeks of play here, but both are in decent spot right now. So it's
should have 3 teams.
Yeah, it's looking like we'll have 3 of the 4 state teams in the playoffs, and Liberty Common will be in 3A. They'll get a real good seed. They're the defending 3A champs.
Speaking of Liberty Common, in a couple of weeks we're going to be doing a Resurrection and Liberty in volleyball. Our first broadcast for those 2 schools.
Yeah.
So we're going to be going over there, and Bruce Dick, the new AD at Resurrection and a good friend of mine, and so we're going to go over there and give some exposure to Resurrection and Liberty. That's 2 other high schools that are around here that a lot of folks don't even know about. Liberty's starting to have some good sports programs, and I believe they're 3A in volleyball, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 3A in everything now.
Same with Res, except football.
Football's 2A.
Okay. Res having a pretty good year in football this year.
Another corner for Rocky Mountain. Might as well send everyone in at this point. Another good defensive header from Pooter.
Yeah, they've just since about 15 minutes into this game.
There's a penalty. They're calling a penalty kick here. Handball on Pooter. That one looked tight. That looked like a shot that just hit. You know, defender has arms on his side and it hit him. That one looked close, but there's only a minute 10 left here, so it's probably too late for Rocky Mountain. But if it looks like Yaxall is going to take this, if he does, could be a nervous final minute for Pooter.
Well, that's, you know, here you go. What did we just say? It's a good thing you have a 2-goal lead.
Yep. So yeah, Yaxall against Van Dress.
And go!
Good shot from Yaxall. So 3-2, a minute 10 left here. Pooter will have the kickoff. They're going to try and possess the ball and just salt away that final minute plus. But if you're Rocky Mountain, you kind of just send everyone forward trying to hunt this thing down.
I'll tell you what, if Rocky scores, this place is going to go berserk because
they're just going to send it down, try and just kill the clock.
Not a great kick. It went out instead of up.
Yeah, it's desperation mode for Pooter. You just clear long and far.
Yeah, about one more of.
Oh, here's a free kick. Here's your final chance. Surprised they're not sending the goalkeeper up, but you just send everyone in the box here. Clock at 30. You got the goalkeeper coming up to midfield. It's a good cross.
Oh!
Big defensive error there from Pooter. Still 20 seconds.
Rocky still with the ball. 15 seconds left. Pooter knocks it out. One more shot down.
Pooter's going to get it done. Wow, what a chaotic final minute. 3-2 win for Pooter. Wow.
Second straight 3-2 loss for Rocky, too. Broomfield just beat him Tuesday 3-2. What a match, folks. We thought this was going to be a great match, and man, that last 5 minutes was really something. Saw a penalty kick. Saw 3 great goals tonight. Just a well-played game. Pooter coming out, and again, they've been the surprise team, and they continue that with a 3-2 win.
That's a great win from Pooter. Awesome finish. Fun game.
Fun game. So anyway, again, 3-2. Pooter beats Rocky. Boys soccer. Tomorrow night we'll have these same 2 teams, Rocky and Pooter, in football. 7 o'clock right here on this fine station. For cameraman Max Fink, Kevin Lytle, this is Randy McCoy saying, again, Pooter wins 3-2. We'll see you tomorrow night.
It's Northern Colorado High School Soccer, live on Stream It Sports Snowco. This broadcast has been brought to you by Pedersen Toyota in Fort Collins. Everything cars made easy. By Jim's Wings, Northern Colorado's favorite wings since 1991. And by First Bank. Visit any of our convenient locations in Northern Colorado. First Bank, banking for good.